And looks like we're almost ready to get started. So I'm so excited, so grateful you're here. All aboard, literally all aboard. This is life-changing times that we're in. I'm sure the 2020 lockdown has proven that, and it has shocked the world. It continues to shock the world as it continues to storm along. Now, the latest news is that this is going to become a more permanent feature in our reality. It's going to become a more permanent feature in our attempt to battle the different strains, and it's going to become a permanent attempt to battle our growing concerns for the climate, essentially, and the economy. So that's the word out, really, for the next 6 months to a couple of years, really. So on that note, on the back of that, the Great Reset is really all about instilling or installing a new system, really, because we're having blackouts, we're having power failures, we're having really like massive struggle in the system to maintain the load on the demand on power and on technological resourcefulness. And that's really playing out in different narratives at the moment, and also will become part of the narrative in terms of reducing your energetic consumption, especially if you live in a city when everything is just numbers, really. And then also, just keeping a tighter check on how much energy we're using in terms of the argument of protecting the environment. So anyway, on that note, I think I have ranted on a little bit until whoever else is going to pop up is going to pop up, and we'll dive right in. So welcome to the introduction to cryptocurrencies during this great reset. I talked a little bit about that great reset and what's happening in this current time that we're in. It's a very exciting time. There's a lot to talk about, but we're going to go back to the basics, and we're just going to do a quick introduction to crypto and what it really is, because cryptocurrency, unless you've been living under a rock, is really more than just Bitcoin, which actually doesn't do anything and is really bad for the environment, but is actually the backbone of the new economy, the digital world. And that digital world is coming up very quickly in terms of augmented reality, in terms of the Internet of Things, and everything connected to the net, really, and then everything being able to transact value over the internet. And that's really where this is all kind of coming together with the 2020 lockdowns. We won't even use the C word, but to then now bringing in the new economy, locking down everyone so that you get used to this new economy, this new system, and then really, becoming a new implemented part of society. So how do we actually take advantage? Well, that's through cryptocurrencies. So if you, so what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to share my screen, and we're going to dive right into cryptocurrencies. What I've produced is a document. You'll be receiving this document in the emails shortly after this call, where we actually go through a bit of a cheat sheet on the quantum financial system that we've been talking about, that's actually being installed at the moment. And it's actually operational. It's in the background. It's ready. They've been field testing it, and there's been glitches in the system, so to speak. And I do not lie, there has been glitches. But yeah, it's just, they're just waiting on the court case, and they're waiting on the right time in the right narrative so that that can be smooth the transition, because there's lots of analysts out there that believe, as well as I do, that when they transition, there's just going to be so much use case that needs to be implemented right away, that it's actually going to be like more like a tidal wave or a dam breaking and flooding over the whole current holders of that crypto. So that is really fascinating to conceive of it happening overnight. And that's what's written in their document. So in this document, we're going to talk about who can hold crypto assets. Anyone can hold them. And this is really the beginning of you being your own bank, where there's no bank actually involved. And we're going to see a lot of banks crash because they can't afford to keep doing what they're doing. And there'll probably be some corruption stamped out as well. That's pretty cool. But for the most part, this is a pretty controlled reset. what are crypto assets. We can choose all these different coins and tokens. There's Dogecoin, there's shit coins, there's meme coins, there's Bitcoin, there's you know, and all these other coins, really coins that have utility. So what we're doing is we're moving out of the speculation phase of crypto into the utility phase of crypto. And like technological advancement over the last 10 to 20 years has been exponential, this will be an exponential move from, you know, just purely speculation and gambling to actually then now adoption, utilizing the technology. And that's it's exciting times for humanity indeed. And also, you know, paints a picture for what the future holds, which is it is what it is. So I'll leave it to you to decipher what the future holds from there. But it's essentially a lot more digitization, and you know, and this is going to face everyone in whatever ways, and it's going to make things easier, and it's going to make some things more difficult. But we won't go into too much of that. Right now, we're just talking about the big picture and how we can align ourselves with this coming wave. When's the best time to buy? Well, currently, right now, as we sit, we have just experienced a pretty good time to buy. We have been dipping across the markets, and this is the actual crypto. Let me just move this a little bit. And this is where you can go and check the actual different prices of different coins. So this is called TradingView, and you can actually utilize all the charting tools here. So we're going to zoom out right now. I'm just going to give you a big picture overview of Bitcoin, because the market currently tracks and it follows Bitcoin. We can check various different, you know, of the top 50 coins, and they'll be following this similar track, this similar trajectory. So this is a speculation wave of 2020, 2021. And it's preceding the kind of speculation waves that have been happening over the previous 4 yearly cycles, where you see, where are we? Where you see every 4 years there's a halving and making Bitcoin more scarce, and you see a little bull run like this, and it gets exponentially bigger over time. So what we're seeing is we're halfway through this one, and if not beginning a brand new one. But this is Bitcoin, so Bitcoin is an anomaly, and it doesn't have a particular use case except for a store of value, which may or may not be good in the coming months and years in terms of this actual adoption on a mass level from the, you know, the powers that be, if you will. And also just the practicality of using a much more efficient system. Bitcoin is not the system I've been looking at. I'm going to let that the cat out the bag, and I've actually just been looking at XRP, which is what we've been looking at before. So this is the actual bridge currency between different banks and institutions and people like you and me. Whether we have a bank account or not, we can send each other money value via the XRP token, and it costs us, you know, I think 25 cents for us to do it. I don't know what it is on the actual ledger. It's actually so cheap, and it takes 3 to 5 seconds. So this is revolutionary in terms of payments and in terms of bridging different currencies that central banks use and creating different currencies on the back of it. So this is the game-changing cryptocurrency that's actually going to be installed into the back end of so many different use cases out in the world right now, that it's actually going to change the face of humanity as we know it. And really, this is an opportunity for us to get involved at a level, I believe, where we can actually ride the wave in the biggest possible way. So let's dive more into that later on. Let's cover the basics first. Obviously, you want to time the market. So what we've seen here is we've been exposed to some market action where the price has gone down, which is particularly advantageous right now, where the price has gone all the way down to, and you know, I'm assuming you understand all this stuff, but you probably don't. So there's a whole bunch of lines here, and these are all just different lines to measure the different support and resistance zones that XRP in this case is going to face over the course of events in the foreseeable future, as it pumps and finds support and resistance along the way. So here we go. We've found another bit of resistance to punch through, and we're just finding stability there for a bit. And it's just a little way to track the progress of the growing, trend lines, I suppose. If we zoom out, there's different trend lines that I've drawn here. And these trend lines, the more times that the line touches the actual candles, these are called candles, and red goes down, green goes up, obviously, and each candle's one of these is worth 4 hours. And that's, that's how we track the price of XRP in this case. So, and then between those, we draw trend lines, and we can start to understand where the trajectory of this market is going. And we have seen a determined resistance in price action because of, due to SEC lawsuit, for example, artificially holding back the price. And there's a whole conspiracy behind all that, but I'm not even going to dive into that because that's not even a real thing. I know you're going to find it in the media, and there's a really strong XRP community out there fighting and, like dispelling all these things and actually tracking the court proceedings. So it's really interesting to see what happens there. I'm just going to take a sip of my juice. Again, hit me up with any questions you got in the comments. I'll check back on those. Sometimes we extend these out if I can't get through the content quick enough. What I'm actually going to do is I'm going to pull up a link because I want to do a little after show question time deep dive. I'm going to just share this here so we can connect via here we go. So essentially what happens is because I'm using the free version of Zoom, we only get 40 minutes. Okay, that sucks. So I've just pasted, I believe, yeah. I'm just pasting a new link. When this call runs out, you can go to the new link and you can see, we can continue the conversation, if you will. So that's that. Let me close that up. All right, so back to our, progress chart here. Let's just keep going through this. We have to get through this. How do we buy cryptocurrencies? So typically what happens for me is I get some money in my PayPal, and I have to send my PayPal money to my bank account, and then I have to send that bank account money to, using PayID, which is really quick, to a cryptocurrency exchange. And cryptocurrency exchanges can look anything from Coinbase to Binance to KuCoin to Gate.io. There's a whole bunch of different exchanges. I don't have one here. I got one here that's called Bitrue. Using that to buy some stuff and track the price of Casino Coin, CSC. Check that out. Follow that coin. That's just utilizing the XRP ledger too. It's like real small. Like it's at, I don't even know. It's like what's the price on this thing? Yeah, 0.0048%. But anyway, so you go to an exchange and essentially you send your money to the exchange. My actual preferred exchange for doing this is actually Binance, and there's going to be affiliate links for exchanges if you want in the document, but you can easily just open up a Binance account super quick. And actually, it takes a bit of time to do that, but you'll figure it out. Oh, look at XRP to Bitcoin. Look at that. That's a solid pump. Oh my God. So so then say we're logged in, you send your money here, and then what do you do now? You've got US dollars or Australian dollars in your Binance account. Then we go to markets. I'm not logged in right now, but essentially you just go to markets and you find your exchange. So if you want to trade your fiat money, my money would be Australian dollars. So I type in here AUD, and it will come up with a whole bunch of different coin pairings. And these different coin pairings, Australian dollar to BS, I don't even know what that is, so don't do that. Australian dollars to USDT, yep, that's the stable coin called Tether. So you can use that temporarily. Wouldn't hold a lot of money here right now, but anyway, so there's all these different coin pairings for Australian dollars, and typically what I do is I just go to the Australian dollars to XRP coin pairing, and that's where I go to purchase my XRP using Australian dollars. But we can also just quickly go to US dollars, and then we can go here, transfer that into USDT or Tether, and oh, it's looking, something's going on there. You know, and then what we do is we transfer, we pick a price that we want to do this transaction, click on that, and we've got this buy and sell category here where we place our orders. So we just pick 75 cents. We place the amount of money that we want to spend in this trade. Excuse me. And then we just click buy essentially, or sell, and it will just fill an order or place an order in this order book. And then it'll get filled as the price meets it, really, and especially if you're getting in front of the price or in front of a price movement. So that's just a basic rundown on how to buy cryptocurrencies. From there, you have crypto in your wallet, which will pop up here. And from there, you can actually deposit that crypto into that wallet. Every different crypto has its own type of wallet. So you can't actually send Bitcoin into an XRP wallet because it will get lost. It doesn't work like that. You have to have a Bitcoin wallet to receive it. They just talk like that to each other. Blockchain. So yeah, and then essentially what you want to do is just start taking your cryptos off the exchanges into different wallets that you have, like apps on your phone. And there's many different types of wallets you can put on your phone, or you can get a Ledger Nano S, which is a tiny like thumb drive USB thing, and that's called cold storage. You can store it off the internet or off the computer, if you will, and then that's really storing your cryptos in your own wallets, not on the exchanges, which is recommended. Yeah. Now let's keep going here. What's the Great Reset? Well, we've covered that a little bit. The reset of the financial system, fundamentally, where there's a bridging asset that connects the whole world, and that bridging asset acts as the stable currency of the world because it's bridging everything. And that's not here yet, but it's warming up. There's a whole document here full of information about the government, about, well, not the government, but the International Monetary Fund, the Bank of International Settlements, the G7, and the plot thickens, and deeper you go into the rabbit hole about this technology being implemented as we speak and about to be released as COVID ramps up and some catalyst happens to trigger the market to actually explode in some way, shape, or form. So again, what I want to say about all this stuff is it's not financial advice. So this is like, I'm passing on information to you, research that I've done, so you can do your own research so that you can learn about what to do next for yourself and for your family's benefit, because this shit's real and it's going to take the world by storm because a lot of people are distracted right now. And that's really the part of the future vision, of this crypto, because we're moving into a digital world, and everything, including physical stuff, is going to be sold using the blockchain to track it and to trace it through NFTs and through the ledger system, through the blockchain system that tracks everything. Really, it's like that's what it's designed to do, and that's coming. So, investment strategies in terms of crypto, well, we're still so early. There's like less than 2% or 2% of people in the world currently have crypto. So it's really, and then as you break that down into XRP and stuff like that, the percentages go way down. We're still so early, and that's why I believe, and that's why we're ramping up for this thing to be implemented sooner rather than later, because they don't want everyone jumping on this bandwagon. I guess that's why they have to have an agenda, like a little, secret thing going on. So, which is cool. It's all about chess at the end of the day. This is this is total warfare. in some way, shape, and form. And it's just fascinating to see their, to see their actions, and to see how this whole puppet show works. Because this is a movie. The more you dig into this, you'll see that this is an actual script. This is a movie. This is a narrative, just like 2020 was a narrative. Just so, you'll see it and you'll be like, oh yeah, it was kind of obvious. Anyway, how to avoid costly mistakes. So something to look out for is lots of people trying to sell you stuff. There's so many fake bots and scammers out there trying to get access to your computer, essentially to start scraping information from it via phishing activities and stuff like that. So really just be cautious out there. Don't click on random links, and also check the URL as well when you actually go to buy and stuff like that. So make sure you do that, and then also store your crypto off exchanges. That's what I would recommend. And also leverage trading. Like for people getting started, I started with leverage trading and I got wrecked. I got completely liquidated and I lost all my money, and it really took a beating. And I took a beating, and it took a lot to come back from that. And that's what people are feeling right now. That's why it's not really popular. And this really leads into this next question of how to manage mental health during these times, because this market is designed to shake the most amount of money out of the most amount of people most of the time. So taking that into consideration, when the market, if you are not muted, please mute. When the market is really green and everyone's in this euphoric state of, we're making money, this is going on and on and on, it's continuous, that's really the time to really looking to take profits, to be cautious, because that's a cyclical thing in the psychology of humans as this market unfolds. And when it's really red and there's a lot of fear and a lot of doubt and a lot of a lot of price drops, that's when people will get scared. They'll get shaken out. They'll sell at a loss. And that's really how you lose money, is by selling at a loss. So, this market works in opposites to your emotions, to your psychology, really. When it's green, that's when you should be looking to take profits and sell. And when it's red, you should be looking to buy more, buy the dip. And that's what we've been doing. And been a great time. I don't know how long it will last, but I'm making use of every second of it. So and then also turning off the screen and not looking at your wallet, where it tracks how much money you've got up and down, because that can weigh on people's emotions. Rather, know what you hold and look at how you can dollar cost average in. If it's dropping and dropping, you keep sort of buying as much as you can, if you believe in the project, to then actually make the use of the dip, you make use of the price action, because we don't often get these. So my top picks for the quantum financial system are: number 1, XRP; number 2, Quant or QNT; number 3, VeChain or VET; number 4, XDC or Zinfin; and number 5, FLR or Flare Networks. Now, not in any particular order. I did read them out with numbers, but yeah, these are all going to be big players. If you I guess research those and check them out, most importantly. So yeah, that's really the big picture outlook on that sort of stuff. There's also a crypto that I'm involved with, a grassroots for the people crypto that's not connected to all this other stuff, but it's a stable coin. It doesn't have these price fluctuations. It's plugged to the last highest price of gold, and it is in the pre-ICO phase, but it's got mass adoption here in Australia, or it's beginning to get that mass adoption, where a local company called Quantum Uplift actually utilized this crypto in terms of renovating their whole clinic. It's a biohacking clinic, and I go there and I love it there. And it blew me away that they got all this work done using this crypto, and that really proved the use case of cryptocurrency for the future for me. And that's when I started to get involved with it. And as a result, I'm one of the early adopters, and you can become an early adopter too. If you have a business and you are willing to exchange some of your product or service for crypto, for this particular one called the People's Reserve, then you can click this link that's in the thingy in the document, and you can become a merchant. And that means that you're officially now being a trader of that and willing to register your services on their sort of exchange where people can go to trade this coin. And you can limit it, obviously, have a cap on how much you're willing to take. But you also get a bag of tokens as a result of being an early adopter. I think it's for a limited time only. I haven't checked what the cutoff date is, but we're still in that date, in that time zone. So you'll actually get a nice swag, I must say, of just tokens to help the community get started. And that's really fun and exciting to see, especially when you get free tokens and you see what the crypto does in general. And this being a stable coin, so it's priced to the last highest price of gold, and it pays out 12% compounding per day interest on what you hold, which is really cool. Today it's worked out at $9.50 US. Tomorrow will be $9.53, and so on and so forth. So it's really fun and exciting. Make sure you join as a merchant if you have a business and are willing to play in this game with us in this new economy, essentially. So these are the breadcrumbs that I've found whilst researching XRP and all of its promises for the promised land. So we're going to dive a little bit deeper now. We've got through the basic stuff. Try to cover as much as we can and answer any questions at the end. Once again, this is not financial advice. You have to do your own research and contact me and get my links there and send an XRP donation if you feel like you want to. There's a address. So this is an example of how this can be utilized. If you wanted to send some money to someone, you could just copy this address and send using this tag, potentially, use that tag when sending XRP. You have to use tags. And then you can send people anywhere in the world. You can send any amount of money pretty much using XRP instantaneously. So that's an amazing use case. It only costs like 25 cents, not like $40, which is like Ethereum, or $20, which is like Bitcoin or whatever it is. So those different networks, they cost way more. So on the broader context of cryptocurrencies, there's not just XRP, there's not just Bitcoin, there's like 10,000 others. And what we can do is we can, where we go typically is to check all this out is called CoinMarketCap. And CoinMarketCap is a place that tracks all the different cryptos. Currently there's sitting 10,699 cryptos. There's 380 exchanges. The market cap's $1.45 trillion. The current daily volume's $87 billion. The Bitcoin dominance is 46%. Ethereum dominance is 17.5%. And, those are the old school crypto dudes, players. So they're dominating right now, or have been. Not for long. But essentially, you'll get a breakdown of all the different things. We can just click here and see the top gainers of the last 24 hours, 25% Elron, compound. So, this is what's happening in the crypto world. It's pretty cool. And it's all kind of happening here. You click on these and you'll get a whole bunch of more information on each of these different projects. So that's a great resource to go and check out. Now, the other thing I wanted to draw your attention to, back to our document here. We've got 8 minutes left. I'm going to go check the chat and see if we've got any questions that we need to check out. And something on there. But anyway, so these are the facts that I found along the way. All right, you can click all these links. You can check all this stuff out. There's ripple.com. You can check those guys out on their official website. They help facilitate and make possible central bank digital currencies, CBDCs. These utilize the XRP ledger as they avert the rising inflation by introducing digital money. and increasing the government benefits, i.e. universal basic income is coming. So basically it's replacing the whole SWIFT network. And there's so much information to cover. I can't even cover it here. The US Treasurer is on the board of Ripple now. She's the lady that signs the dollar bills in America. So she's now working with them. The G7, they've just mobilized their, organizations together to actually facilitate a, modernizing of the rule book and a new rules-based multilateral system, like a new trading system. Essentially, they're revamping the whole thing. Now, these are just sort of like extra little research bits, but this doesn't come away from the fact that, lots of G7 stuff. There's a World Economic Forum. They've actually just released a document here. This is called, Getting Started, a guide to getting started with cryptocurrencies. That's just come out this month. So this is coming out quick and fast at the moment. And page 17 lists all the different cryptos. And out of these different cryptos on their website, they've only got one of those cryptos on their website, which is Ripple. So you can click that link there. You can go and read that. Now, what I want to draw your attention on as we sort of wrap up this and I go to the questions and we have a little chat here and just keep going. If the governments create their own cryptos, how do we know crypto as we know it won't be outlawed? Yeah, well, crypto as we know it. Well, there's so many different cryptos. Right now, the SEC lawsuit is seeking to SEC versus Ripple. They're actually seeking clarity. That's actually this big thing that started on the, in December, on the solstice in December, to actually gain clarity on this whole crypto space and figure out, especially reduce the price, reduce the activity, take eyes and attention off this one because it's a big player in the space. How do we know they won't outlaw? Well, they say that Bitcoin's going to be outlawed because it's so unenvironmentally friendly. It's really like to scale Bitcoin as it grows in price. So does the energy required to mine all that Bitcoin into, in all the transactions into place. So it's like, it's really expensive. I believe that out of any of them, that one, in a way is going to get the hardest time, as well as several other, outlying cryptos. And to be honest, there's 10,000 here. So there's going to be way more that just don't have a use case, that are shit, that are just going to get eliminated with some thing. Because imagine if you go back in time in the history, in the time machine thingy, and you look at the different cryptos that were booming the last sort of bull cycle, 2017 and 18, 2012 and 13 or whatever, you'll see different cryptos were booming back then, and then now they're dead. So they don't all last. And there's only going to be 100 really that are actually going to last. And then out of those 100, there's going to be 5 that are going to be the backbone of the infrastructure of the world, and then the rest are going to do all kinds of things with NFTs and stuff like that. And they're going to be great as well. But it's those ones that are all outlined, they've got ISO 222 standard, and that's a banking standard. Oh, the other thing I want to talk about was just yesterday, the 28th of June. Wait about crypto. 28th of June, Basel III just got put into motion. So Basel III is where where the banks have to actually be backed by gold. The gold standard is coming back. So this is going to actually help the collapse of multiple different smaller banks that can't buy their own gold to actually back what they hold. So what we're going to see is some banks crashing and stuff like that. Provided, materials, recording will be emailed to you as soon as I get it uploaded. Okay, sweet. So that's happening as we speak. There's a lot of talk here about that. There's a revised copy of this with an extra link, or especially what I do, and I want to point you to this link down here. It's all jumbled up, but you can go through the rabbit hole and find your way. Is oh Jesus, where's the link? So there's a whole bunch of pictures. There's a link in here somewhere, and it's a link to my playlist on YouTube. You can go and follow that. There's 100+ videos that I've been watching over the past month and a half to actually educate myself on all this stuff. There's and then that's just the rabbit hole, really. So the YouTube rabbit hole. Check that out. So Basel III, look out for that. We're going to have a gold standard coming to the world, and it's believed that. Look, here's the big picture. If you got to go, we got 3 minutes left. The big picture is we need all this distraction, this whole COVID thing, this whole flu thing, this whole lockdown thing, to control the population, to start to dumb them down, to actually reduce, environmental impact of so many people. Now, this distraction is messing with people, their normal routine. Meanwhile, over here, we're setting things up so that, we can relaunch the system, because everything's already crashed as bad as it can ever become. We're either looking at some kind of reset that's controlled like this, or we're looking at a major financial collapse across all markets. And that's really probably the scary option in this scenario, where we have actual rampant inflation. So really, this is the rescuing tool. XRP will free up liquidity in the global market space so that they can compete, and and we can continue living a somewhat normal life amid a whole bunch of lockdowns. So when we look at so we're going to scroll down here. Here's a whole bunch of banks that are already working with Ripple. There's even more. There's like over 300. So some of these pictures are old. You can see these banks are working with them. And now we're seeing here. So the big picture is the liquidity of the whole world running over the XRP ledger. And like the flick of a switch, it happens overnight. Now, we don't know when that's going to happen, but it's written in their documents on the website. It's all in the links provided, that it will that the most efficient way to do it, the best way to do it, that's what they're planning to do, is to flick it overnight. So at that point, we see all this money, all this wealth essentially travel through the XRP ledger, and the price goes from 69 cents, whatever we had before, to $100.